The Fall Guy 2 has yet to be announced, but I'm hoping that it still happens so Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt's bad luck with franchises finally ends. One of the biggest appeals of The Fall Guy was getting to see Gosling and Blunt share the screen in a big-budget action comedy where their on-screen chemistry could shine. Since the movie is based on a TV show of the same name, there was always some level of optimism that it could launch a franchise focused on stuntman Colt Seavers and action movie director Jody Moreno. Even though The Fall Guy was released over 3 months ago, there are plenty of people, myself included, who would like to see a sequel. Gosling, Blunt, and director David Leitch all have expressed their interest in making The Fall Guy 2. Their collective desire to return has yet to translate to Universal officially confirming that The Fall Guy's ending will not be the last time I see Colt and Jody. Updates on the sequel have been sparse, but I'm still holding out, because Gosling and Blunt deserve to finally have a major action franchise. I'm a huge fan of Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt's movies, but it is still fair to acknowledge their poor luck in finding action movie franchises. Gosling's run before The Fall Guy is a bit worse than Blunt's, as movies like The Nice Guys and The Gray Man were both films that could have received sequels. Neither movie has made much progress regarding a follow-up, as The Gray Man's reviews hurt interest in a sequel, while The Nice Guys box office gave the studios pause to continue. Not even his non-action IP attempts, Blade Runner 2049 and Barbie, got sequels. Emily Blunt has managed to headline a franchise thanks to A Quiet Place, but those movies are more sci-fi/horror than action. She famously missed out on playing Black Widow in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The biggest missed opportunity in my mind is that Edge of Tomorrow still hasn't gotten a sequel after a decade. The movie was a critical and financial success, so it should have been easy to make. Instead, Edge of Tomorrow 2's development has been turbulent, making it look unlikely that the action sequel will ever happen now. Jungle Cruise 2 is also not expected to occur. That is why The Fall Guy 2 happening would be such a huge moment for Gosling and Blunt. Their years of searching for an action franchise would finally end as they continued this stunt-driven series. The sequel would not happen without both stars returning, as their characters are integral to where the story could go next. This would allow the two stars to grow in their roles, make the series more popular, and hopefully expand a fun concept with great action sequences. Outside of Blunt returning for Edge of Tomorrow 2, she and Gosling reuniting for The Fall Guy 2 would also be my most anticipated sequel for either. The Nice Guys 2 could still be fun, but the time for it to happen has likely passed. The Gray Man 2 would need to drastically improve the original Russo brothers action movie to even come close to the enjoyment I had with The Fall Guy. The 2024 action movie is the best chance for them to make a sequel that I'd be incredibly excited to see, and I'm not alone, right? The biggest issue with The Fall Guy 2's chances has to be the financial performance of the first film. The Fall Guy's box office was heavily scrutinized as the theatrical run occurred. It only made $180 million worldwide against its reported budget of $125 million. There is a general rule in Hollywood that a movie needs to make 2 to 3 times its budget to become profitable, although that does not take into account digital sales and other sources of income. Still, The Fall Guy's opening weekend came in under expectations, and the final total was undoubtedly disappointing for Universal. With uncertainty regarding how The Fall Guy 2 would perform at the box office, there could be some understandable hesitation from the studio to greenlight another. But with the movie earning high praise from critics and audiences alike, and pushing for a Best Stunts Oscar category to be added, there could be enough reasons to try and make a sequel. It would still be a risk by all accounts, but perhaps with The Fall Guy's success on digital and its streaming release could compel Universal to finally make my dream come true of The Fall Guy 2 happening.